主がお前の名は何かとお尋ねになるとそれは答えた。我が名はレギオン。我々は大勢であるがゆえに。レギオン。
隕石落下地点は四国の南西約1キロの地点。多忙状態に出動要請。
よっしゃ
今朝方から市の南部一帯でもあちこちで異常が報告されてるんですよ。
四国湖からここまで何かが移動しているというデータがあるんです。
オペレーション ISDN 回線通信不能。
移動体通信基地局回復できません。
酸素濃度 78%。通常の4倍。
俺たちが可能性として考えてたのはもっとミクロな生物学的汚染だった。だが
まさか宇宙生物。
作戦開始は2000。爆破は地下鉄構内だけに限定。
被害は一体。
札幌中心部6キロ四方は間違いなく壊滅だ。
あれがガメラ。ガメラが私たちを守ってる。
奴の次の目標はこの東京です。
情報が少なすぎる。見えない軍隊に侵略されているようなものだ。
あなたガメラの心が見えるの。草薙浅木さんね。
ガメラは生きてます。必ず復活します。だってガメラはレギオンを許さないから。
小型レギオン飛翔確認。
いけない。
羽を持った群れがガメラに向かったらガメラは叶いませんよ。最大出力で頼む。羽レギオン足利市に迫ります。
火力をレギオンの頭部に集中しガメラを援護せよ。
俺は一気に殲滅する。
巨大レギオン最終防衛ライン突破します。
Gamera 2, the real guardian of the universe, coming summer 1996.
The titanic, terrifying battle between the most terrifying monsters within our community come together for one giant clash. The following announcement has been paid for by Monsters with Attitude.
We are your podcast's favorite podcast, living off of one phrase, 3 words. Embrace the attitude.
What is up? What is up, everybody? Welcome to another monthly deep dive episode brought to you by Monsters with Attitude. I am your host, the Bearded Kaiju, and of course here with my bearded brethren for the most part. And somewhat shorter-haired brethren for some. We had a fun time last night with that. Go check out the archives for that. We celebrated our 1,000 subscriber show, and then Joe and Samson did a little hair cutting for our amusement, honestly. So that was a lot of
where'd
fun.
it
So enjoy that. But yeah, we are here talking about the big turly man himself, Gamera, celebrating 30 years for one of, I think, acclaimed films in his franchise, Gamera 2 Advent of Legion, part of the Heisei era that I think a lot of people claim to be some of the best kaiju films of all from that trilogy of films. So a lot of fun with them. But this particular one, I think, is a fan favorite. Mine, especially, I love this one. I know a lot of the guys on here love it as well. But yes, it's going to be a lot of fun talking about it. And like I said, 30 years since this bad boy came out, and we have to do a discussion about it. So thank you for joining me, everybody. Thank you, boys, for joining me. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a giveaway tonight. So yeah, should be pretty interesting. And we'll see if we have all the same opinions or differing opinions. But all is welcome here at the Monsters with Attitude. But before we get into all of that, let's just introduce our panel for tonight. Obviously, you guys know the usual suspects, but let's just kind of go down the line real quick and say hello to everybody. And first, I'll start off with this still bearded, still haired kaiju brethren, Mr. Joe Mama himself. Joe, what's going on?
Hello.
All right, moving on. And beside him, we have the other.
Just say hello, so I just said hello. I'm doing what you asked, Eric. Word for word.
Okay.
I am being specific in what you asked for. I can just never make you happy.
We're being literal tonight. All right. But next to him, it is the other kaiju brethren that also did a little bit of shaving, Mr. Samson. What's going on, man?
Fuzzy. Doing fuzzy.
All right, good. Right below Mr. Samson is the realest goji, Mr. Jordan. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for being here.
Of course, buddy. I am super stoked to talk about this movie. So let's get it on.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, the conductor himself, Mr. Adrian. What's going on?
What up, Eric? What's up, boys? I'm doing amazing today. I've been looking forward to talk about this movie all day. Just watched it last night on our Twitch. If y'all didn't see it, it's gone now. But it was still a fun time last night, and I can't wait to dive back into this film because this film is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had a nice, fun watch along last night on our Twitch channel, so that was a lot of fun. Just kind of get, reacclimated with the film. Even though I watched it twice this week, which was just really good because it's one of my favorites. So I do love doing that. But without further ado, as what Joe likes to say, likes to pay some bills. I don't have his little scheme or anything like that, but I'll just kind of run down some of the things. I mean, Joe, if you would like to.
I got
Please,
it pulled up.
by all
buddy.
means.
I got you. Embrace all things attitude with the Monster with Attitude clothing and swag line. Go to tpublic.com and search MWA in the search bar. Sorry, I just glitched out there for a second. That's MWA in the search bar. Rep your favorite, cannot compute. Rep your favorite podcast, and give your new swag a little attitude. Help support our show and help us keep growing. For all your collection needs from Super 7, go to super7.com/monsters with attitude 2024. That's anything from Super 7. It doesn't just have to be Godzilla. If you are fans of He-Man or anything, I think they do Thundercats and Godzilla and Power Rangers. Anything that Super 7 offers, go to super7.com/monsters with attitude 2024. Also, do us a huge favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and last but not least, hit that notification bell so that way you guys are notified every single time that we go live and you know all our new drops as they happen. Don't be a hoe, share our show. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Before we get into it, obviously I'm going to show off our giveaway tonight, we're going to be giving away a F Plus Defo Reel
doggy
right here and
Fancy.
there. So really awesome. Great sculpt, great representation in the Defo Reel line for X Plus, the super deformed, and this thing. She's a beefy girl. So yeah, absolutely love it. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Don't know when, don't know where. Well, where we'll wait here, but when is when we'll do it. You just don't know. So stay tuned. If you leave the chat and you leave the stream, you might miss out on the giveaway. So stay tuned and be live and just interact with us. It's a lot of fun talking about kaiju stuff. So, but yeah, let's get right into the show. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Real quick, I just want to highlight a couple. Michael, what's going on? Thanks for being here or not being here. He's going to watch it later. Nathaniel Plummer, what's going on? Loyal fan. I'm not going to read everybody's notes here because we are already 10 minutes into this. But yes, he is friend of all children. Fanciest of cats. Yeah, we will get that vial of Samson's hair out to you ASAP so you can start cloning and do whatever you need to do. Nathaniel again. Larry Latham, what's going on, man?
Hey.
I heard from you for a while, man. Good to
legend.
Good to hear.
Hi, Larry.
Oscar, what's going on? Kirsty, what's up? All the way across the globe.
Adrian, why are you smirking?
I'm always smirking.
Charles, what's going on, man? Jake, what's good, man? What's good? DJC, hey yo. Of course, even farther than Kirsty is Mr. Frank himself, Ohio from Japan.
Hello, Frank.
Okinawa, I think. Maybe he's still there. I'm not really sure.
Frank, is your full name Francis? Because I really want to call you Francis.
But thanks for joining. And of course, the man that won the giveaway last night, Mr. Mitchell. What's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in again. He's going to try to go double or nothing. I'm just kidding, not double or nothing. But Frank, I give this stream 3.5 beards out of 5. Oh no, we've dropped in our score. But yes, thank you for everybody tuning in. And if you're lurking, let's have some fun in the chat. Let's answer some of the questions with us. I got lots of great stuff for the guys to answer, and let's talk about this amazing film, but let's deep dive right into it right now. So yeah, we are talking about Gamera 2, Advent of Legion, but that wasn't the only name that this film had. It also had Gamera 2, Attack of Legion, which is the alternate English title, which some people are try to correct people like, oh no, it's Attack, oh it's Advent. No, it's actually both. So don't correct people when they're doing that because it's actually legit both. And actually the literal Japanese title is Gamera 2 Legion Invasion. So put that one in your head. So yeah, lots of title names for this one, but let's get right to the questions and the categories. First, we're going to talk about the overall story. Samson, what do you want to interrupt me for?
I noticed during the trailer there was a different title for the film too. It said Gamera 2, the real guardian of the universe. Did you catch that? That was weird.
No, I saw Advent of Legion on the bottom, so I didn't see the real.
Yeah, so Gamera 2 : the real guardian of the universe. I was like, that's kind of like the first title, so I found that to be kind of weird. Yeah, no, I caught that, and I was like, oh.
Maybe they sourced because actually there was a clip or two from the first film in that trailer. Actually, if you saw some of the scenes, there was actually a scene where Gamera did his fireball, and that's actually from the first film. So maybe they just kind of sourced it from there. I don't know. But anyways, we'll get right onto this. Like I said, talking about story. And I got a couple questions kind of pertaining to the main story. We're not going to be deep diving into the characters per se, but we're going to kind of do a little bit of everything. So my first question is for everybody here is, so the focus and the story of this film was mainly about the new antagonist kaiju, Legion, actually. It focused on the kaiju more than the actual human characters. Did you like how they established Legion as a threat, and did they explain her story thoroughly enough to have you interested in the movie? So we're talking about just Legion here because they didn't focus on the human characters. They were just kind of all extra. They really wanted to establish Legion and her threat and kind of where she came from and all that kind of stuff that's surrounding her. So did you like that kind of take from them? And let's go, Adrian, you go first.
Okay. So oddly enough, when I first saw this movie, that actually really threw me off, actually. Because I don't know if I saw it on Sci-Fi and just got in the middle of the movie or what happened, but all I remember is my first time seeing it, I just remember this seeing giant bugs attacking people. I was like, what is this? Where is Gamera? What's going on? So the first time I saw it, it really did throw me off. But now that I've been a fan of the movie for so long now, I really do love the direction they took with it, and they really should do that more with kaiju movies. The movie should be. I mean, yeah, I love a good human story, as y'all know, but I mean, this is still a great kaiju monster story, and the way they introduced Legion and how she came about, I believe that they did an amazing job doing that in this film.
All right, Jordan. We'll just kind of go right up the roll here.
Yeah, no, the way how the story depicted Legion was actually one of my favorites amongst the entire trilogy when in compared to the main antagonists per film. So this was my first Gamer film ever owned. So coming across it and just the overall background that Legion was given. I think when she initially debuted in the film, or when she initially appeared in the film, I loved how they quoted a specific scripture from the Bible, making her look like that much more larger deity that is far more powerful than that of Gamera. So even with the Legion soldiers aiding her to whenever it is she would call them up, I thought that was absolutely amazing. Kind of wish they did that for Megaguirus in Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, but I mean, this movie lived up to my expectation of why Legion is truly the real queen of the monsters.
All right, right on, Samson.
Yeah, I think the reason why I dig this movie the most out of the Gamera trilogy, or just in general, is that it has more of an extraterrestrial feel to it compared to the first film, which was more like mythological instead. And I like that. Yes, the fact that it was kaiju focused more than anything. The human story wasn't really there. They didn't really have anything going. They were just like explaining and carrying on Legion, and you kind of stole my thunder. The thing about the Bible making her like this holy crap entity was, yeah, that was good. And shaking, what are you doing? What are you shaking your head at me for? All right, never mind. I guess that's it. Joe, go ahead. Yeah, explain your part.
No, go ahead. I'm just shaking my head. Go finish your thought.
No, that was it. I like that it was very kaiju driven more than anything else. So it kept, the pacing was good, and that kept me engaged and interested. So yeah, that's why I like this one quite a bit. It's the only Gamera collectible that I have in my collection.
Right on. All right, Joe.
I'm shaking my head because I thought for sure I was going to be the only one that brought this up, but it is the religious aspect. I am a Christian, and I love the fact that they incorporated that story of the Bible verses. I actually wish that they would kind of lean a little bit more into that. They kind of did that with King Ghidorah in the 2019 King of the Monsters with the red dragon painting. That is a painting of Lucifer in his back, and that was incorporated. That is what King Ghidorah looks like from the back, his back muscles. And I love that. I love that in this, it's the story of Christ banishing the demons, and they go into the swine. They are Legion. That is where that quote comes from. And I love that. I think that there's a lot of story and mythology in the Bible that could be incorporated into some new monsters or kaiju. And so, yeah, I love that. And I don't mind that this overall story, not even just the religious aspect, but I love the fact that this is more kaiju focused. The lore is more built around the the story and the origins, I feel like Legion's presence is felt. She's shown as a threat from the beginning. Honestly, this movie is everything that Monarch season 2 was not. This is what I was looking for with Titan X, where there was more story, there was more gravitas and just visceral feelings and dread. And how is Gamera or how is Godzilla, how is Kong, whoever, going to beat this thing? And yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the story of, honestly, all three of the Gamera Heisei films. I think they're all very, very well done, but this one in particular, I think, is maybe a notch above the others, possibly. But yeah, just the world building, the story, and how even when she's not there or Gamera's not there on screen, the presence of them and the events that they show and that take place in this film are still felt. You are feeling the ramifications and the ripple effects of every scene that happened before, and I love that.
Yeah, you you took part of my next question, so I might skip you on this one a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. But I did want to know, mainly for the other three of you, did it feel like the terror and the calamity that Legion posed as the end of the world threat fit with how they portrayed her in the film? Like, when they established her, did it fit what they wanted to seek and what they wanted to present to everybody? Did everything that they brought for Legion, did it feel like this was end all be all villain, that if they don't stop her and her hive or her alien offspring, whatever, was it the end of the world? Did you guys feel that dread in this film from start to finish, or whenever they even introduced the Legion in general? Adrian, I'll go with you next.
Okay. So honestly, it really does. And I think that's why this film is so much more loved than the other two films, especially Gamma 3. Even though I love Gamma 3 also, but Legion gave off that big final boss, end of the world feeling that they were going for in this film. And it really hurt a lot of movies at that time, because we've always talked about how the Heisei Gamma movies compared to some of the Heisei Godzilla movies, and Legion felt big. Legion had that big boss energy the entire film, and that's how they set her up to be. And you really did think, oh God, the war's going to end. So I really think that they did an amazing job showing the threat and the presence that Legion was. And again, it did hurt the other two films, sadly, but for this movie, what it is, it did an incredible job with that.
All right, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, her aura felt like, or at least what she would bring to the table, felt like there was nothing more you could have done other than to try to survive. Wherever corner you turned, you were going to get hit with something, whether if it be the Legion soldiers or her, explosive flower nests. I mean, hell, when even Gamera would approach them at a unfortunate timing, it was powerful enough to where it almost represented that of the bombing of Hiroshima. So even if Legion wouldn't even have been there presently at certain moments for any of the protagonists of the movies, there was still a huge downfall that would, lie upon them because of what Legion was trying to transform into this planet to be to her beneficiary. What she presented to us is what I felt like Destroyer should have been like in 95, especially with the aggregates and all of that. So that was definitely something that I feel like maybe they took into consideration, studying, trying to make it seem like as if, Toho did this, let's make our variant 10 times much more impressive. Or maybe that wasn't even the case, but she was definitely a big chungus for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Samson.
Yeah, it's hard to say no to your question, because I mean, what was the line from Aliens? Oh, it's the big one. It's the big fat mama. So that's what she's big and her powers, like the beam effects or attacks and what she could do. Yeah, and what they displayed on the computer programs when they showed like the effects of how wide the explosion could be and how far spread it could be, and just the infection of the swarm and everything. Yeah, it was a big deal. She was a problem, and she messed Gamera up quite a bit. So yeah, there was the be all end all threat there for her with her.
Just from the three of you, just name just one thing that you felt was the most threatening thing that she brought to the table. Like, what was it that was like, oh man, that's it. That's the aura. That's the thing that could literally be the end all be all. Adrian.
Oh man.
I think that is a good question. But I mean, really, probably the production of the flower pods. Because we saw what I think did to Gamma and what that could have done to Earth as a whole. Because Gamma did slow it up a little bit. But imagine I think this would have went off and just captivated an entire country, honestly. So I would probably think that that's the most terrifying thing about it, what she brought to the table.
All right, Jordan.
I think it was just her overall ferocity. You know, like I'm coming across a comment Leslie made. There where Gamera got lucky, and honestly, I truly do believe that, especially towards the end. So she was just an absolute freaking tank. Like, oh my goodness! Like I've said earlier, I prefer her as the end all be all villain over Iris. Maybe fans may look at that as a shocker, but what she brought to the table was definitely more horrifying than anything that Iris did, in my honest opinion.
Yeah. All right, Samson.
Adrian took it. It's the pods and the destructive power that they possessed. I mean, having them sprout up wherever she wants to, and the destructive power that they could. I mean, what they could do. Yeah, the pods. So, and oh my God, what color are they? We'll never know.
Joe, did you have anything to add besides what they said? Just one thing that really kind of stood out that made her the end all be all that she kind of brought to the table?
Just everything pretty much. I mean, the pods, the swarm, her durability, all of it. Yeah. Her powers.
All right. Right on. And yeah, like I said, this is kind of one of the few kaiju films that focuses on the kaiju. Usually it's a lot of character driven where they focus on the human characters because they're the ones that have to drive the show, drive the movie, and then they kind of throw in the kaiju along the way, and they're kind of always in the background. But this particular film, they made Gamera, they made Legion the focal point of the film, and I think that was really special and very smart to do. But out of some of the characters that you see here on screen, did they do their job in the film to keep it going, to connect the dots? That we wanted to keep progressing the story as it went. Did they all kind of, do their task, or did some of them kind of fall flat and you're like, I could have just completely taken this person out and would have been fine with it all together? Adrian.
I would like to say everyone did their task. The only person I would consider taking out, and even though I absolutely love her, is Asagi, because she didn't really have a whole bunch to do in the film until she had to kind of revive Gamera. So that was really the only thing that she really contributed to the movie. Everything else, she was just kind of just there in the background, not really doing much. But again, that's me nitpicking with Asagi a little bit. But if I had to pick anyone, it'd probably be her.
All right, Jordan.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to go with the Colonel in this movie.
Okay.
I definitely loved how eventually he would, be influenced by, the ultimate realization of this is at the end of the day good versus the bad, and obviously, he went the right route to try to be able to protect our main protagonist, our human protagonist, and to try to fend off that of Legion and what she could have unfortunately brought to the table for us. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Colonel on this one.
Okay, interesting. All right, Samson.
I don't really have much to add between Adrian and Jordan because they keep taking what I have in mind. I mean, yeah, everybody did their job. You had our main chick investigating and being thoroughly interested in like Legion's background. We had our computer techie guy that drove like showing the destructive path that could happen if Legion was able to do what she wanted to do, and the Colonel with his fun one-liners and just everything. Yeah, everybody did their job and made the movie fun and carried it well.
All right, Joe.
I wouldn't remove any character per se. I kind of liked the story overall. The only thing I would change is that man's sideburns.
Oh goodness!
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's something.
Or hers.
Give me your clippers, Joe.
Bottom right. Those are...
All right. Good stuff. All right, so we're gonna move on from story, and we're gonna focus on just Gamera now. Now we're gonna focus on just him in this film. So if you didn't know, the stunt actor who portrayed Gamera in this film, his name is Akira Ohashi. And a couple fun facts. Akira Ohashi plays Gamera in this film. He would also go on to oppose Gamera as Iris in the following film. So he was the suit actor for Iris in the next one. The Gamera suit also was refurbished in the next film to represent Trauma Gamera, actually. So they scrapped this suit and made Trauma Gamera out of it. And Ohashi actually did wear that suit in that brief appearance in the third one. So he did reprise his kind of role as that Gamera suit, even when it was changed into the Trauma Gamera. And lastly, Ohashi would also appear in another Kaneko's film as GMK as King Ghidorah. So, yeah, I know, Jordan, you said some of those things the other day. I was like, shut your face because I have stuff coming up. So, yeah, just some interesting facts that I thought was really cool that Ohashi got to kind of stick with that same suit and then went on to also be in part of another Kaneko film, which is GMK. So, but overall, Gamera, obviously, he had a new look and was changed in this film quite a bit, honestly, from the previous 1995 suit. Did you like Gamera's overall new look? And what about his new abilities did you find cool or neat, or maybe you didn't like them? Maybe you were like, oh, that's too outlandish or whatever. What did you guys think of this overall upgrade to the suit, his look, his abilities, all that kind of stuff? And Jordan, I'm going to go with you first.
This is my definitive version of what Gamera should always represent as. This, for me, is the curtain call look. This is my Gamera. Just the overall design, even his abilities. There was nothing that he didn't do that made me look like, maybe he shouldn't have done that. Like even towards the end, with the ending climatic battle, like in how he would end up finishing off Iris Legion. I thought that was pretty unique and pretty like animated as all hell. I thought that was really cool when I was a kid. He was the underdog in this entire film. And with this specific design, being able, I feel like this overall suit was extremely expressive when in comparison to that of the previous one. And later on would be the third one, with how the animatronics were moving the eyes, just this. You could tell whether or not he was in pain. You could, tell whether or not he was acknowledging Asagi and so on and so forth. So, yeah, this is, in my opinion, the best looking Gamera that will ever be out from past, present, future. This is him. This is that guy.
Samson.
No, absolutely agree with everything that he said. I like how it's a nice median between 95 and 99. It's without them even knowing it, it's a nice mixture of the two. because we had no idea what the 99 suit was going to look like. But no, it was just a nice enough upgrade with some of his sharper features and his finale move being what it was. I guess we don't have to let's say spoiler alert. What do you call it? The gut cannon, whatever that was for the finishing move, and him doing the Tokyo drift when he went around Legion and fired fireballs at her. That was fun. And like Leslie said, the flippers to make him not just do the spinning maneuver, but being able to actually like fly straight forward. So no, I love this one a lot, and I need it.
All right, Joe.
Yeah, I don't really have too much else to add. It's a great design. It's a great upgrade from the first. I don't know if I like it more than Gamera 3. However, it is still a great design and a great look. The extra abilities and stuff, I mean, leave it to Gamera to always have a MacGuffin at the very end to figure out a way to beat his opponent. Like, it is a little cliche and a little, whatever, but it is very cool. And I like the fact that Legion was so powerful that his mana ray required the absorption of the power from around the world. It wasn't just where in the first one, I'm going to absorb the power from the refinery explosions and nearby, whatever.
Yep.
This was, I need everything, almost like his version of a spirit bomb, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't have much else to add. Are we going to have time? Is there other questions pertaining to Gamera, or are we gonna?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got like one more. So
okay,
say what you want.
No, I'm good. I'm good for now.
Okay, Adrian, what's up?
So I really do like this design of Gamera. It's not my favorite. Y'all know my favorite is 99, and the 95. That's just nostalgia because that was my first Gamera film. But I really do like the design of 96, and it really is a really good meeting between 99 and 95. So I do enjoy it. As far as his new abilities go, I mean, he, like Joe said it, he did a freaking spirit bomb. That's freaking awesome. The second I saw it, I was like,
is
he doing a spirit bomb?
My thunder, man. Come on.
Hey, Joe took my thunder first. But no, that was absolutely incredible. I like how he did have some more control over his flying abilities because that was pretty cool as well. And like Samson said, him kind of gliding and shooting fireballs out of his mouth was pretty fun also. So I do love everything that comes with this design of Gamera for sure.
Yeah. I think the biggest difference for this Gamera than even the previous or even the predecessor is that there was more emotion with his face because they did a lot of animatronics close-ups with his face with roaring, mouth open, eyes, head moving, all that kind of stuff. They did a lot of that, a lot of fluid movements that you didn't see in 95 and you sure as heck didn't see in 99, because 99 and 95 are very stiff. They're very slow moving. I think this is the more agile Gamera overall. I kind of, you can kind of put the, what's the word? You could think of it as like the Showa Godzilla, where he's very agile, he was slender, and he can move a lot better around his opponents, whereas the other two was kind of more Heisei and Millennium, honestly. And I just like that you could see a lot more emotion. They did a lot more close-ups with his face to get that emotion. I just thought it was just really, really cool. And I think I really do, and why I like this overall look and feel of Gamera because of that aspect. So it's really awesome. But yeah, we were talking about the spirit bomb, and coincidentally, it goes with my next question here. So this is just purely just opinion. All right. So I want to hear what you guys think. what is the more devastating special ability? Gamera's spirit bomb chest or Godzilla's atomic breath? Which one would be stronger? Which one has that oomph to beat the other? Jordan, it's you first, buddy.
Why? I thought you were going to ask which one was a better attack, the ultimate plasma blast or the plasma fist. I would have said the plasma blast, but
that's too easy. That's too easy. Now I'm going to say you use any atomic breath that Godzilla has ever used. Okay,
any
comparing it to the chest beam, which one would be more devastating?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to. Judging on Gamera's durability, just if not throughout the entire trilogy, but just of Gamera's history overall in general, I'm gonna have to stick with Godzilla's atomic breath. You could throw anything and everything at Godzilla, and no matter how much of the upper hand you may think you have on him, he always comes back. He regenerates, and so on and so forth. And so I feel like if Godzilla were to ever hit Gamera with the red atomic breath, it would be, the curtain call for our beloved shell-shocking kaiju. But yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with the king of the monsters on this one, bro.
Okay, even though I'm just gonna,
as much as it pains me, because
but even though he's using the energy from the world, just like what Goku did, the more energy he gathered, the stronger it became. Even if he gathered so much energy, you don't think that final blow would just end him?
I don't know. I might have to say I don't think that'd be enough, man. Because even although outside of just Godzilla's physical media, we've seen multiple of other media properties, whether it be that of manga, comic, video games, and just so on and so forth. We've seen so much in-depth lore to Godzilla's powers and how much he can take, so we don't get enough of that for Gamera, unfortunately, because we've said this multiple times. If you throw Godzilla in a poster or Gamera, people are going to be more drawn to Godzilla because Godzilla is the more popular IP in that of kaiju. So man, it's tough because again, that move is so badass. So unique and different for such an organic kaiju like Gamera, but I'm still gonna have to stick with the atomic breath on this one, buddy.
All right. Stick your guns. Samson, what do you think?
It depends which one, for sure. I don't think Showa Godzilla's atomic breath could handle the power of the chest burst, whatever you call the thing. But we saw, especially rewatching it last night, Legion's regular beam could tear a hole through his shoulder, which you see in the bottom right picture. So I think the two atomic breaths that could rival the chest cannon would have to be the spiraling atomic breath from Burning Godzilla or -1's atomic breath. But otherwise, no, Godzilla's atomic breath. It's hard because Legion messed him up, but at the end of the day, that chest cannon, it took her out, and she was tough. And it's hard to say because we've never seen something like that hit Godzilla, so it's a fantasy question, so it's really hard to answer. But like I said, the two atomic breaths that could rival his chest cannon, spiral atomic breath and -1's.
Okay, all right. Even though she got disintegrated beyond belief, Okay. All right, Joe. I know you're chomping at the bit here. I can see you there.
To piggyback real quick off of what Samson just said. Yes, Legion is extremely tough, extremely durable, and extremely formidable for an opponent of Gamera. I don't think she would have lasted half as long against Godzilla. Case in point, at the beginning of the film, she gets damaged and a piece of her gets ripped off by missiles. So, and I'm not trying to crap talk her or this movie or anything. You guys know I love it. I'm just saying, if we're putting all of that into context, like if she's able to be hurt by missiles, not killed maybe, but hurt, and it took Gamera using arguably his most powerful attack ever to defeat her. I'm sorry, I have to give the edge to Godzilla, but I will say this. I think that mana cannon from his chest gives him that attack right there is why people want to see the fight between Godzilla and Gamera. Yes, obviously the Showa and they all came up together, whatever. But I'm saying like what makes that fight possibly believable and to where you're like, oh, is there a threat to Godzilla? Is the abilities that Gamera showcased in the Heisei trilogy, most specifically that cannon, that just ultimate attack. But off the top of my head, without really deep diving, I can think of a couple Godzillas that could easily probably go toe-to-toe with that mana cannon. The Godzilla fully powered at the end of Space Godzilla, when he's just blasting that red, when he's kind of like is starting to absorb Space Godzilla's energy that's going out and it's boosting his power. Like, if we're gonna give Gamera that kind of power up, let's give Godzilla that kind of power. I think that Godzilla could go. I think that Godzilla could beam clash that and possibly win it. The Godzillas that I think for sure could win in that beam clash is Burning, because his power is just off the charts, just absolutely unbelievable. Final Wars Godzilla shoots his beam into outer space, destroys that asteroid that Monster X is in. Depending on the power-up of GMK, because that first time we see him shoot that, there's the mushroom cloud. So it's kind of like, if he really charged, because GMK is the kind of like one of the first ones where you see it actually kind of come in charge. So I'm like, maybe GMK, if he's able to charge as long as Gamera is able to charge, type of thing. This may not be popular, but the anime trilogy Godzilla, I think his beam is. I mean, I think that is probably the strongest Godzilla ever. Like, his powers were just ridiculous in that anime, which I hate it, but trying to be fair here. And then obviously, I don't remember if it was Samson or Jordan that said -1, but definitely potential. Again, maybe if he could charge a little bit longer, definitely could go. And then last is the Godzilla from the Monsterverse, from GVK. He blew that hole into the center of the earth, into the hollow earth. That's got to be some type of competition with mana.
Absolutely. And to add notes to Godzilla Earth, he fought Void Ghidorah, which was a living embodiment of a black hole.
Right.
So,
yeah. So don't get me wrong, though. Like I said at the beginning of my point, this attack puts Gamera on the playing field with Godzilla. I just don't think that because let's be honest. Let's say that beam hits, those beams are hitting, and that Gamera had more time to charge and absorb more mana from the earth and actually pushed Godzilla's beam back. Gamera's spent after that. If Godzilla gets up, it's over for Gamera. And that's the key with Godzilla. Like, yes, he's powerful, but he's going to get back up. And that's even on some of his most powerful foes that he's fought. It's been his ability just to take that beating, and then finally the opponent, who is maybe arguably more powerful, gets worn out, and then Godzilla's like, "Got you, bitch," you know. So, to me, if that beam don't work that one time, Gamera's done.
Yeah. And even in this film, and even other previous Gamera films, Gamera always in the first round would either be defeated or would escape, to then try to recharge or to, remarkably get back up through prayer of children, or, in this case, through the prayer of children, to then go back round 2, be the ultimate victor. Godzilla, no matter how many times, as Joe stated, you chop him down, he will always keep on gunning after you. He did that in King of the Monsters. After Ghidorah fled, Godzilla kept on following Ghidorah, would not let him take a freaking break. And we've seen that in other previous installments.
And to be fair, though, Gamera is like that too, right? Like, oh, you might get him and down, but the difference between Godzilla and Gamera is Gamera can take hours or days to come back, where Godzilla just needs maybe a few minutes and his cells have rejuvenated. So like, that's a huge factor on it too. But if we're just talking beam, I'm sorry, I gotta give it, as powerful as this attack is, we've seen Godzilla's heat rays do way too much in too many other movies. The problem is, like, we've only seen this attack one time. So I don't know. It's tough. It's a very interesting question. Like, it really is. But
all right, Adrian, it's your turn.
I mean, it's kind of hard to follow that up. I mean, Joe took literally I was about to say. Because again, as strong as Gamera's attack is, Final Wars Godzilla blew up an asteroid before he got supercharged. Can you imagine that supercharged being that Godzilla got in Final Wars would have go up against Gamera? I'm just gonna say his spirit bomb, it would have been over with. And then also burning Godzilla too, because again, we don't know how that was going to react with Godzilla's nuclear fusion and how powerful that is compared to Gamera. So I think burning Godzilla and Final Wars Godzilla takes it out, it takes the top when it comes to atomic breath for Gamera's attack.
Okay, all right, interesting. I just kind of wanted to throw it in there. I know it's a little bit of a debate, and as much as we love Godzilla, we love Gamera, there's always been that debate, all that, who will win, what if this and this and this, and it's all just kind of, it's a lot of fun debating, and it's like, oh, this and this and then this. I love it. A lot of people don't like that kind of discussions, but it is a lot of fun. It just brings us back to when we were kids and we discussed this stuff. You might bring it up to your mom or dad or something like, oh, this and this is going to happen, and blah blah blah. You're describing all this stuff, and they're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, don't even worry about it. Just listen. So I thought it was kind of a fun, debatable question for everybody to do. But that is Gamera. And obviously, you guys see, Samson just kind of dropped out. He lost his internet, so he will be back soon. But in the meantime, real quick, if you guys could do us a huge favor, go hit the subscribe button, give this video, this stream a like, and let's keep riding this train and a lot of fun with this Gamera discussion. So just hit the bell notification so you know when we are always going live, so you never miss our content. So, but moving on to the next slide, which is, of course, Legion.
Called it. I'm so good. I knew this. I knew this was next.
All right, so obviously Legion was the main focal point of this entire film, so of course we have to talk about her. So Legion was actually had 2 actors in her suit. That's how big she was. She was a big chungus for sure. She was a big mama, And so the actors that portrayed Legion were Mizuho Yoshida and Toshinari Sasaki. So Yoshida was in the front, controlling the head and the legs, and Sasaki was the back half. He was laying down, and he actually had his legs in the back, kind of walking like a crab backwards so they could kind of move in sync. But a couple fun facts here for these two individuals is that Yoshida and Sasaki would go on to appear in Kaneko's GMK film. Who did they portray, do you ask? Well, Yoshida obviously plays Godzilla, the king of the monsters, and Sasaki actually performed stunts for Baragon. So it wasn't just Ray Oda the whole time. He helped out in performing the stunts. So a lot of cool stuff. Also, Yoshida and Sasaki would go on to play Zetus and Toto from Gamera the Brave.
Ooh,
so Yoshida was actually in Zetus, and Sasaki was in Toto. So it's cool that they got to continue on with the Gamera series and get some other roles in that. So really cool stuff. But of course, we talked about this a little bit earlier. You guys kind of touched on it. So I want to get more. I know, Joe, you probably touched on it the most of this particular question, but regardless, I'm going to ask it anyway. So what are your thoughts and what are your thoughts on how they came to name Legion? Okay. Do you like that they use biblical references in the film? You know, I'm not going to say the whole spiel and stuff like that, but, you know, it was the two military officers talking and, you know, recited a passage from the Bible, and, you know, her name came to be. Do you guys like how they presented that name into the film as that kind of thing, basically making her a, you know, this, like we've been talking about, this end all be all kind of thing that, you know, they have to get rid of, otherwise, you know, stuff's going to hit the fan. So with that, Joe, do you have any more to add to that? I know, like I said, you touched base on it, but I'll start with you and see if you got any more to offer.
I just love, I mean, there is a lot of, are you asking specifically like the Bible analogies of it, or just?
Yeah, like, did you like that they used that reference to name her in the film and how they presented it in the film? You all, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I did. I liked it. Like I mentioned before, you know, I'm a Christian and I like that type of stuff, and I like when movies can kind of take that and use it to inspire designs or stories or stuff. So I like the fact that Legion is named after a scripture in the Bible, but also I mean, there's a lot of similarities between Gamera and Jesus, right? Like in his death and resurrection in some of these movies, and how he is the savior, guardian, and through his death and resurrection comes back and defeats Gamera or Gauss, Iris, you know, whatever, plug in whatever villain you want. So yeah, I think that that's really kind of interesting and cool, and I like the fact that they named Legion as, you know, Legion for we are many is what it talks in the Bible, and it is, like I said, referring to the horde of demons that had possessed this whole town, and Jesus came in and banished them and banished the Legion. And yeah, so I think that's great. And like I said, even parts of King Ghidorah 2019 were inspired by the Red Dragon painting, and which is of Lucifer. Like, to me, I think that there's a lot of new kaiju that they could do based off demons or fallen angels in the Bible, you know, whether Baphomet or Moloch or you know, whatever, you know, there's a Baal. There's a lot of really interesting stories, evil characters that I think could help morph into some of these kaiju that we love.
Yeah, absolutely. Adrian.
I would say I enjoyed that too because it's something that we didn't really get in kaiju films until Gamma really started coming along, and the fact that they continue to because even in the first film they kind of reference kind of the fallen city of Atlantis and everything. Kind of making Gamma this like the guardian of the universe. They pretty much like Joe said portray him as Jesus in a sense, and the fact that they took another step with that with naming Legion after the story in Mark 8 verse 9, it was really an interesting take to add that concept to the antagonist kaiju as it was. So I really did love the fact that they did that. Because as a Joe, I'm a Christian as well, so it definitely tickled my fancy being able to have that in the film. I definitely enjoyed that.
All right, Adrian, Jordan.
I mean, I definitely do wish that they'd add more religious aspects to other kaiju films. Hence the reason why GMK is definitely one of my favorite Godzilla films, because of that different route that they went about making these monsters into these spiritual entities. So, I mean, granted, obviously, this is all made by the same individual that would help, basically give Gamera his stripes, his badge of approval, in directing and writing these films. Really quick, I would just like to quote exactly what the term Legion defines in the Bible. So in the Bible, Legion signifies a vast multitude or a overwhelming organized force, derived from the largest division of the Roman army, typically around 4,000 to 6,000 soldiers. The term is used in the New Testament to denote a massive gathering of demons or angels. Legion was that and so much more. Again, she brought that end all be all vibe more than anything that Iris did for me personally. And she was just, she was the Rapture. All right. Yeah, she was really that. And I really do hope for other future projects, even if it doesn't have anything to do with Godzilla or even Gamera. It could be a whole new kaiju project where they would kind of tiptoe into that type of realm to try to build up just the overall threat that these kaijus could bring on to us, because I really do think that's pretty cool.
Joe.
Jordan, I agree with that 100%. I've actually thought for a while that you could make a trilogy or series of Godzilla films connected to each other, loosely based off of the Book of Revelation and the 7 years of tribulation. You mentioned the Rapture, and not obviously having Jesus in the movie, right? Because that probably wouldn't make sense of Godzilla and Jesus teaming up to fight something. I mean, that'd be kind of cool though. But like the analogy of it, and where maybe Godzilla is the analogy for Jesus, and then there's a villain that is the Antichrist, and there's the monsters of the Leviathans, and then there's the dragon at the end of the Bible, and all this. Like, there's so many different creatures, and the plagues, the 4 horsemen. Like, maybe these different types of monsters can be analogies or whatever for these particular characters in the Bible, specifically in the end times. And you could make a series of Godzilla films that are almost kind of following the 7 years of tribulation, and each year Godzilla and his guys are kind of like the angels, and maybe Godzilla isn't actually God, maybe he's Saint Michael the Archangel or something, and the Antichrist or the false prophet is Ghidra, and fill in the, or I guess maybe the Antichrist could be like Space Godzilla, right? Because he's Antichrist, and if Godzilla's the good, I just feel like that there's a story to be told there, in an analogy sense. Maybe not specifically say that it's the Rapture and the end time, things like that, but make a story that's loosely based off that.
All right, right on. So obviously we're talking about Legion here and how cool she is, and obviously how she kind of got her name. But overall, like, what are your thoughts on Legion and her overall presentation that they brought and presented in this film? Like, we saw her come out, popped out of the ground, flew away, which was like, whoa, what was that? First we thought it was just these small little bugs kind of everywhere, and all of a sudden there's a mother, queen, if you will, and then obviously progresses throughout the film, and you got to get to see all of her abilities and everything, and then her overall look, besides just her flying away. What are your overall thoughts on her overall design, her abilities, and presentation in the film overall? Joe, you can go first.
Sorry, I just took a big drink of water. Yeah, I'm a big fan of her. I think that her and Biollante are probably my favorite female kaiju. Just because I think it's really a shame that they both only ended up in one film, because I think that there's a lot of interesting stories and ideas that you could take both of them into. So yeah, I'm a fan of hers. I love her powers, love her abilities, and I lost my train of thought on exactly what your question was, Eric. But overall, yeah, I'm a fan of Legion. She's a big lady, but she's really cool, and I would love to see her back if done right. I don't want to see her be brought back for a cannon fodder type thing. Same thing with Biollante. I don't want to see her brought back just for a cannon fodder type thing, because I actually think that both Biollante and Legion have end game potential characteristics about them in the movies that they are brought back in.
Yeah,
well, we need Gamera we need Gamera's franchise to get rebooted in a successful way if we ever have a chance. So
absolutely. Adrian.
Same with Joe. I honestly love Legion quite a bit, actually. Well, actually, Legion is my favorite female kaiju of all time, and kind of high up there with villain kaiju as well. Because whenever I think about Legion, there's not too many villains I put above her, honestly. Because I mean, she has that. She's so huge that she has that presence about her that oh my god, what are we gonna do to stop this thing? And I really do love that fact about Legion, is that you see when you see it first comes out and she's just flying, and like, oh my god, what is that? What is going on now? After Gam would check out all the Legion soldiers and everything. So I love that about her. I love her presence. She always feels like a huge looming presence that's always lurking around and everything. And then as far as her abilities go, like I mentioned, there's not a lot of a lot of Godzilla kaiju that I put above her, honestly, because he's one of one in the Gamma franchise for sure, and
yeah,
he's incredible.
All right, Jordan.
So I'm not a fan of what most insect kaiju are portrayed as, excluding Megalon, since Megalon was a man in a suit. And it obviously was because of, just the poor representation of just the wirings and stuff like that, the piano strings, trying to put the monsters together to move in some type of way, shape, or form. Obviously, this right here, even throwing Megalon in the topic, was the best insect performance for this specific kaiju. It just felt fluent. It felt real. And it was very different, extremely animated amongst, previous or even, future other insect creatures that would come into the kaiju realm, if not just from Gamera's perspective, but from, Godzilla, Ultraman, et cetera, et cetera. And so they have yet to top off this specific design, the overall performance, her abilities, or hell, even the CGI design of her flying when she would initially appear in the actual movie. I thought that all had a very fluent feel to it. I didn't even realize it was CGI until I was really I had to be this close to TV and oh, that's CGI. But nonetheless, it was so fluent, and just the performance was chef's kiss.
Nice. So real fast, name off an ability that she used or you saw on screen that was your favorite out of all, Joe.
Ooh, her major beam when her mandibles open. I think that's pretty. I mean, honestly, they're all really cool. But yeah, that one is just that. I mean, the way it shoots through Gamera's shoulder like that was like, oh wow, dang, that packs a punch.
Yeah. All right, Adrian.
Dang, I was gonna say the same thing, Joe, but I can't say something a little bit different actually. Actually, when she's able to just summon the Legion soldier before snapping her fingers, and essentially, because that could instantly turn the fight in a different tide. If it wasn't for the humans actually helping Gamera, he would have been in huge trouble trying to fight the big one and the soldiers.
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan.
So I'm gonna go a different route. Mine would actually have to be her having the ability to deflect Gamera's plasma blasts.
Okay.
Yes. The shield.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what makes Legion so terrifying, like, yes, she's powerful and durable, but there's no emotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's a calculated, focused, I'm going to kill you. And I'm not toying with you. I'm not gonna scope you out, see what you can do. Like, nope, I'm just gonna overwhelm you now. There is no love, there is no feeling in her eyes. It's complete calculation. Like, she's almost like a Terminator.
Yeah.
Good analogy.
That's perfect because that goes right into my next question. Is that so? We just talked about some of her abilities, and she's great. She's awesome. She's like a tank. So, in any way, did you feel at some times that Legion was too strong of an adversary, or was it exactly what they needed to make her overall aura so menacing? Like, was she too strong for Gamera, and he got just lucky, or did they need to give her all of this stuff to really get that feel of dread and oh man, we got to stop her, otherwise it's the end game? Joe.
No, and maybe this is just I shouldn't say maybe. This is just kind of like my headcanon, but to me, she's not the only of her species. She is kind of almost like the Viltrumites from Invincible. You're going to go and you're going to soften up that planet, and eventually the rest of us will come. And that doesn't mean that there's millions or billions or trillions of her species. Maybe there really is only a couple dozen or a couple hundred or whatever. But to me, like, she needed to be that powerful because she's not from here. She's here to terraform this planet and make it a new hive or a new breeding ground for her species to replicate and to make it a new home base. So yeah, she needed to be that powerful to defeat whatever was there to protect the planet, and also to overwhelm the planet in its own life forms and ecosystems to take it over. So no, like, to me, she's the what's the dad's name from Invincible? Norman.
Nolan.
Thank you.
Nolan.
Like, she's him. I'm coming, but I got to be, powerful enough to take you all down and get you ready, because you will bend the knee to my species. Whether she is the true mother, maybe she's not. Maybe she's just there is a king or a queen above her. I don't know, but whatever. So she had to be that powerful because she didn't know what was here.
True, absolutely. Scary to think, honestly, but Adrian.
So I'm gonna take this in a different direction I kind of hinted at earlier. I'm gonna say,
all right,
yes, she was too powerful, But the reason why is because this is the second film out of the trilogy. Legion should have been again the end all be all for the Gamma trilogy. This should have been Gamma 3, Attack of Legion, honestly, instead of Gamma 2, because like I mentioned earlier, Iris didn't Iris didn't really feel like a threat. Legion is the King of Dora well, not really the King of Dora. Legion, I would compare Legion to probably Mega Godzilla as far as destructiveness goes, as far as the adversary goes for Gamma when it comes to one of Godzilla's villains. So I feel like that, yes, he's too powerful, but only because this should have been the film that finished the franchise, not Gamma 3.
Right on. Jordan.
Her being the, at least for majority of us, what should have been the overall end all be all type of villain, I personally feel like wasn't necessary. Not so much just for her, not discrediting her, because she is a beautifully well put together villain of a kaiju. But the reason why I will say it was a necessity to make her that much of a threat was to benefit Gamera and to really live up to being that of Guardian of the Universe. Yeah, sure. The first movie was dubbed Gamera, the Guardian of the Universe, but he went up against freaking Gauss. I'm sorry, no disrespect to Gauss. I love Gauss, but what Gauss would Gauss bring to the table what Legion and Iris did? Absolutely not. Those two were the juggernauts of the Gamera franchise, in my opinion. So coming across that of Mother Legion and what she would bring to the table to fend off Earth's true guardian and him having the upper hand really made it a satisfying ending, because as I stated earlier, Gamera was truly the underdog in this film throughout the entire trilogy, it felt like to me. So for him to have had the upper hand against something that you just didn't feel like in the beginning, I had no belief that he would have been able to even touch the exact same soil as much as this specific threat, but to then overpower it and win it, that was, again, another chef's kiss of an ending, something that truly benefited from Gamera personally.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's true. Very good. Legion is great. A great kaiju is awesome design. I think they executed very well for as big as she was. We've seen big kaiju before, and sometimes it just doesn't seem like it's just fluid enough and works well enough. But man, they engineered her just beautifully, honestly, to show the size, but actually still be mobile, to move around and actually do the stunts and seem menacing. So yeah, kudos to that. But all right, yeah, that's good stuff for Legion. We're gonna move on to our next category. But before I do that, I'm going to show off our giveaway again one more time. We are giving away the X Plus Defo Real Legion figure tonight. So please remember to tune in live, because there will be something you have to enter in the chat, and you also have to be subscribed to our YouTube channel. So make sure you do both of those to be entered into winning this Legion figure. So should be a lot of fun, and hopefully everybody likes it.
Very nice.
All right. So the mastermind behind this masterpiece, honestly, is Shusuke Kaneko. He is the director of this film and the other two Heisei Gamera films, along with GMK Godzilla from the Millennium series. So before we get right into Kaneko, a fun fact about this film as a whole is that this film won several awards during its run, but one award stood above the others. This film was the first Daikaiju film to win the Nihon Science Fiction Taisho Award, which is the Japanese equivalent of the American Nebula Award. If you don't know anything about the Nebula Award, basically what it is that it's an award given by the science fiction and fantasy writers of Japan. So they thought it was the best of the best. And it's not just sci-fi films or just films in general. This prize is selected from sci-fi fiction novels, movies, animations, and manga overall. So out of all of those categories, they felt like this movie was the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Oh, yeah. So it's amazing that this was the first Daikaiju film to win something like that. So it speaks volumes, honestly, for what he did as a director and what he presented to us as a film. So my first question pertaining to Kaneko is, this film was directed by Kaneko along with the other two Heisei films, as well as GMK. In your opinion, are you a fan of his work for what he brought to the kaiju genre, and did he do Gamera franchise justice with his portrayal of the Guardian of the Universe? Adrian, I'm going to start with you.
Absolutely, I am. And I've said this many, many of times. As far as the Heisei Gamma films go, they honestly rival a lot of the films in the Godzilla Heisei era to me. So I absolutely love his work and love everything that he's done as far as Gamma goes. He's on that. I wouldn't say put Gamma back on the map because technically he did, but I mean, then he went back in hibernation again, which is disappointing. And of course, GMK is my favorite millennial film by far. It's not even a contest It's between millennial films and GMK. So I absolutely love his work. I love I love all the one thing y'all know I do photography for Poops and Giggles, and a lot of my inspiration for my shots in photography comes from his style of directing and everything. So I absolutely love everything this man does. Even the storytelling in me is top notch as well. It's simple, but it's simple, but it moves the story along in a great way to me, in my honest opinion. So I wish he could have done more for the Godzilla franchise, or even came back to do more Gamera movies. That would have been the dream come true. So if I didn't say it enough, yes, I love everything this man has done and hopefully will be doing in the future.
All right. Jordan.
This is the man that brought Gamera to life, in my honest opinion. This is the guy that held that mantle for so long, or at least during the time that he would present those movies from 95 through 99. God forbid these movies were around the time during the actual Heisei run for Toho's Godzilla. This would be the true living competitor for Godzilla during that time frame. These movies were to have mashed out in the same time frame together. And of course, I mean, this is another. Should have said this yesterday when it was asked what celebrity I'd like to meet. This is also one of them because, of course, he directed one of my favorite Godzilla movies of all time in GMK. Hell, I wish Kaneko-san were to have directed all of the MonsterVerse films, or even if he would have been given the shot to do a trilogy for GMK, that would have been awesome as well. But just what he brought to the table was just completely different. It is indeed a format that most people should follow up on and praise Takashi Yamazaki-san for noticing his work in GMK, hence the reason why he would end up, having such a successful film in -1, being that GMK was his overall inspiration to make Godzilla, or just the overall film, the way how it was. So I definitely tip my hat down to Kaneko-san because this guy is truly, oh my goodness, a mastermind at work for kaiju films.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe.
Shusuke Kaneko is Takashi Yamazaki before Takashi Yamazaki. He took those franchises and brought them into a new light, into a new era. Yamazaki gets rightfully a lot of credit and positive accolades for his work on -1, and hopefully his work on -0 lives up to it as well. But this man took I mean, let's be honest. This man took a dead franchise and brought it back in a way that competed for a time, maybe not forever, but for a time, with the reigning champ of monster movies. And he also went and made what was considered one of the better Godzilla movies up until the releases of Shin Godzilla or -1. So I think that this man is criminally underrated. There was a very nice stretch of time where he got his just due and tip of the hat, but I think that he deserves another shake at either franchise, quite honestly. Listen, there can only be one Ishiro Honda and what he did for Godzilla. But if there's a guy who was the second coming of him, it was Shusuke Kaneko. And again, all respect to Yamazaki because he did phenomenal with -1. But Shusuke Kaneko was Yamazaki before Yamazaki was Yamazaki.
You are. I absolutely made that same comparison with the two. I'm glad you said it out loud because it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. He brought a dead franchise and brought it to relevancy, and made some of the best kaiju films of all. People still talk about to this day. And even the GMK. One of the best Godzilla films of all time. And I agree with you, Joe. For what Yamazaki's done so far with one film is great, but he has to do that with as many films as what Kaneko did. If he can do that, he is on the same level. And it kind of brought me to my next question. Of course, you dang nabbit. But I guess
it's like the third or fourth time I've done that.
I know you have. It's just like we're just rolling. We're in sync here. But I'll ask the other.
We're
two.
drifting. We're drift compatible tonight.
I'll ask the other two then. Is Kaneko underappreciated in the Godzilla community because of what he's done for these two franchises overall? Adrian, I'll let you go first.
Oh, absolutely, he is. There's only a handful of people. There's only a handful of people who actually bring him up in conversation when it comes to directors for kaiju movies. So yeah, he's criminally underrated. Criminally.
All right, Jordan.
Unfortunately, it's sad to say that I do feel like he is underappreciated from time to time. And granted, a lot of it does have to do with, again, I'm gonna say it, Godzilla is the juggernaut of kaiju media. Because he only did one Godzilla film, that wasn't enough to really try to put him in the map for most kaiju fans. Even those are like just getting into the fandom, you know what I'm saying? To us diehards, we know the worthy of this man's work. He needs a plaque. He needs a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame in California. Damn it! John McCoy even brought up, speaking of kaiju IPs, that he had also worked on a few episodes with special effects for Ultraman Max. How this guy worked on, three of the biggest names of kaiju: Gamera, Godzilla, and Ultraman. I just wish he did more. I wish companies really gave him the opportunity as much as Dai did with Gamera for Godzilla, for Ultraman, and just many other, kaiju relatable works to really, truly give him his well-deserved medal of just making such beautifully well-sculpted movies. So, yeah, criminally underrated and very underappreciated, but this guy is definitely worth the talk.
Yeah.
Does anybody know why he never made another Godzilla film? Is there a story out there?
I think for every film up until obviously the Kiryu saga, every film had a different director. I don't know if it had anything to do with. I mean, granted, also at the time, Toho was really on the fence of very low budget cuts and stuff like that. And we said it yesterday. The only reason why they brought back Godzilla in the Millennium Era was to triumph and try to erase what came out in '98. So I think they were just juggling with what they can do to try to let this, third coming of Godzilla stand on its own 2 feet, by giving multiple of other people chances to work on these films. But
so in other words, you have no idea.
yeah, Kaneko wanted to do more Godzilla films, though. He wanted to do more, but again, I think a lot of it had to do with the budget cuts.
The only thing that I've heard about this is that I heard this about especially the Gamera franchise. I don't know if this pertains to Godzilla, but I know Kaneko literally had he was in charge of everything. He had the rights for every decision. The movie production didn't have any say in anything. It was his way, and that's it. And I don't think that Toho liked that. But because I know that obviously they butted in with them changing the monsters in the film, so I think that might have rubbed him the wrong way, or it rubbed the honestly Toho the wrong way with him really fighting to have certain monsters and kind of have it his way. But then Toho kind of buzzed in, and Kaneko didn't like that. With the Gamera films, he had every say. He was in control. With Godzilla, he really didn't, and so maybe he just doesn't want to work with them anymore. I'm not really sure, but that's just kind of what I heard with pertaining to the Gamera films, is that he had full control over everything and made it the way he wanted, and obviously it was the right way. So, but so we're talking about that. So another hypothetical question for all of you. So bring back Kaneko to direct another kaiju film. What does that film look like for you?
It looks pretty damn good.
Adrian, what do you got?
If Kaneko comes back, he honestly needs to revive Gamera. It's time. It's time for us to get that revival for Gamera that we've been craving for what? When did Gamera the Birds come out? 2004, right? Give or take there. It's been long enough. It's been long enough since we had Gamera relative, and if anyone's gonna do it, it might as well be Kaneko because he's done it before. He has experience, and with everything that we've gotten in kaiju them now. Thank you, DJ. 2006. Oh, ooh. Anyways, I'll get to that comment in a second. Everything that we've gotten in kaiju, as far as making movies and stuff like that nowadays, I think Kaneko will have a blast reviving Gamera again. I think it would be absolutely amazing if he was able to do that.
Yeah, Jordan.
I mean, it would definitely be good for the newer audience coming into the kaiju lore, because there are some people that just from experience that I've gotten into the Godzilla community that have yet to watch GMK or have yet to watch anything Gamera related. And I know for sure every time they bring those topics up to me, specifically talking about Gamera, I always tell them, listen, there are the Showa films, yes, but you need to watch the Heisei trilogy. Those are by one of the best kaiju films ever made. And so it would definitely be a nice, and also a nice take to see how he would portray these characters in modern day cinematography. So that'd be interesting to look at too.
All right. Joe, what do you got?
Yes, absolutely. I want him back. And it pains me to the very depth of my soul to agree with Adrian, but he has to come back and do a Gamera. Because Godzilla's still going strong. Godzilla doesn't need a reboot yet. Gamera is in desperate desperate need. Gamera is on life support, and they're talking about pulling the plug. So if there's somebody that can do it, I would love it to be Shusuke Kaneko. Also, if he did come back, please give us Gamera 4. His vision of what should have actually, he could even pick it up and make Gamera 4 in present day. Maybe Gamera lost that fight at the end against the Gauss horde, and the Gauss have taken over, and it's taken 20 something years or 30 years, however long it's been, for a new Gamera to be born, and the war wages on, But yeah, I would love to see him come back and take on Gamera again.
All right, absolutely. Great stuff. Obviously, great director that we all want to see him come back to a kaiju film. Honestly, yeah, Gamera would be great. Godzilla would be great, but Godzilla is in good hands right now with Yamazaki. So yeah, definitely Gamera, or even maybe an independent new film, of a kaiju that maybe he, designs or whatever, just kind of makes, and it, blossoms into something new, which would be really cool. So good stuff. Good stuff. All right, moving on. Move on to the overall thoughts on the film. So this kind of fun fact was really kind of aimed towards Samson, but he's not here. So snooze, you lose. But one of the explosions of the Sapporo Municipal Subway by the Japanese Defense Force was actually inspired by the depictions of the elevator shaft and its destruction in the 1988 film Die Hard. So, kind of a fun fact that I think you would have liked, but oh well. But yeah, moving on. So the first question I have for you guys is, pick a moment, any moment out of this film. And what that moment, did that convince you that this film was either a good film or a bad film? What was the moment where you're like, hey, this is going to be an amazing movie? Or, hey, I don't like this. I don't like this direction. I don't know if I'm going to really like this. I know obviously a lot of us have been talking that we really like this film, so I think most of our answers are going to be positive, but you never know. But what moment happened in the film that was like, hey, this is a pretty epic movie? Jordan, you're going to go first.
For me, it was the moment where the children gathered praying for him, and Asagi would lose that linked connection to Gamera. That made me go, holy shit, he's about to go haywire on this second round. So, yeah, there's no disrespect to Asagi. I actually liked her character portrayed with that linked to the kaiju more than Miki Sagusa with Godzilla, actually. I feel like that was written a lot better. But yeah, it was at that moment that I was just like, I'm sold. I love Gamera. He's gonna win. I want him to win. Hell, I'll pray for him right now. But it was at that moment that really had me engaged, and again, root for the underdog. And he would obviously, win towards the end, and just again show why he is guardian of the universe. So this is one of the best freaking kaiju movies of all time. So it was at that moment that I was sold.
All right. Joe, what moment?
I don't know if I can pick just one thing, so I'll say something overarching in all the Gamera films that I actually really like, but specifically this one, is the battle damage that happens throughout. I like the fact that Gamera gets wounded, the shoulder gets blown off, an arm gets lost, a finger's broken, the holes from the... But I also like the fact that as the battle wages on, Legion gets damaged as well. Her mandibles and tentacles start to break. Her claw gets ripped off. Her wing is ripped off. all of that is really, I love that. It makes the fight feel so much more intense and just bloody, and I love that.
All right. Sweet. Adrian.
Dang, that's actually a really good question, Eric. I'm trying to figure it out this whole time. I probably have to say. I probably have to say, actually, when the Legion soldiers first attacked Gamma, which sounds crazy, but the reason why I said that is because we saw the type of threat that Gamma was under in this film off rip. Because we saw Gamma destroy the flower pod. I thought Gamma was gonna fly away, and oh, okay, cool, the pod's gone, no worries. But then all of a sudden, all the Legion soldiers come up and start attacking him, and we saw the damage that those soldiers did on him when he finally flew away. So I think that was really like, okay, yeah, things are about to get real for this film. What's really going on? So I just had to say that moment.
Gotcha. Okay. I think so. Yeah, Adrian, you thought it was early on. Jordan, you were about midway, and Joe, you were probably about midway to 3/4 of the way. Okay, interesting. I think mine's kind of like I think the airport scene when they first kind of really duke it out, and it's in the daylight. You can see everything nice and crisp. A lot of those shots are from up above, so you can see the craters that's going on, and just the explosions. You get to see her abilities kind of come into play for the very first time because she's trying to protect her flower and let it actually explode and do its thing. I think that right there was like, holy crap, like this is going to be an epic movie overall. So I just really love that scene. And then obviously it got better from there. But yeah, just good stuff.
Good answer.
All right. Moving on to our next question. One that I think we touched a very little on, and I am anxious and curious to hear your opinions about it because they focused on it a lot in the previous film. It was kind of one of the driving factors for the 95 film was the connection with Gamera and Asagi. That was literally non-existent in this film. It was not there, which almost you don't know why it per se, but it wasn't. So did you feel that the Gamera Asagi connection was needed in this film, or was it necessary to cut the connection? Like, do you think that they originally wanted to cut it here and just get rid of it, or do you think they dropped the ball and it should have been continued on? What do you guys think overall with that connection basically cutting? Because also too, like, the connection wasn't even there because as much damage as Gamera took, it wasn't there on Asagi, not like the first film, you know? So it was there, but it didn't make any sense because it shouldn't have been there. You know, like, she was there to revive him, and that was it. There was no battle damage taken from her. She didn't feel his pain. There was nothing there. So it's almost like, why even have that connection or even have that character in the film, honestly? So I just kind of want to get your thoughts overall. Is it good that they did that? You know, should they have just continued and actually made it stronger? What do you think, Jordan?
A little bit of both. I kind of wish that she was still linked to Gamera all the way up into the third one, just because the girl that would have that link connection to Gamera in Revenge of Virus, I thought of her being extremely annoying, especially just having that envy, or not envy, but that grudge with Gamera. When in all actuality, it wasn't even Gamera. But anyways, I definitely, like I said, I do enjoy Asagi's character a lot more than Mickey, and I definitely felt like it was much needed for this movie, despite how lacking was in compared to the first one, because again, that would be one of the other pivotal points for the newer characters that came across this movie to get a better understanding of Gamera, and then obviously being able to try to get a better understanding, they had to establish a relationship with Asagi, so that she could have given them the information that was much needed for them when being asked. So Yeah, it was definitely heartbreaking, at least when I saw that, because I'm like, oh, wait, she can't talk to him no more? Oh, man. You know, but like as time progressed, as I've gotten older, I'm like, damn, you know what? I kind of wish that they panned out with that a little bit longer, including, you know, all the way towards the third. Hell, they could have even ended that right at the ending scene with Gamera and Iris in the third film. But yeah.
All right, interesting. Joe.
Ask the question one more time, Eric.
Did you feel like the Gamera Asagi connection was needed in the film, or was it necessary to cut the connection?
I'm glad she was in it, but the lack of connection they have makes sense, because I can't help but feel that Gamera knew, hey, I'm going to take some damage that she can't sustain. So to me, it was his doing of saying, like, yes, I draw power from you, but you can't handle what I'm about to go through. If that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Welcome back, Samson. What are your thoughts on the...
Nobody cares. Don't
It's
answer.
all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's so yeah. What are your thoughts about the Gamera Asagi connection? Like, was it needed, or was it good that they kind of ended it?
That's the girl from the first film, correct? The one with the little amulet.
Yes.
Okay, it's been so long. I've only seen both of those once, and that was like more than a year ago. So I don't have that super.
She was in the second one. That's why I'm asking.
No, I know. But she didn't really have that much of a role. She was there, but didn't really do a whole lot. It was kind of like a nostalgia thing. Like, oh man, she was in the first film. Let's put her in the second one for, hey, look who's back. Joe pretty much nailed it. I was shaking my head hard at everything he said, because no, she would have died. So I can't further that. I can't go any further than that. But it was nice to see her, because it's all like she was in the first film. Oh my god, people love that kind of stuff. So that's all I can really say, honestly, with the limited knowledge that I have, honestly. Yeah, and sorry for about the absence. Yeah, it's storming really bad, and internet.
It's all good. It's all good. And there he goes again. Adrian. I didn't do it, so that wasn't me.
I know who did it. God, you scared me. I was like, oh no, not again.
To answer your question, Eric, I was disappointed we didn't get more Asagi, because again, I love Asagi probably just as much as Don does, so I definitely understand where he's coming from with what he was saying earlier. But at the same time, Joe's right. It was necessary for Asagi to lose that connection from Gamera, because Gamera was getting torn apart. Like even during the airport scene, see that we don't see anything visibly wrong with her, like as far as like cuts or scratches or anything like that, like we did in the first film. But she was exhausted by the time, the helicopter took off. So Gamma knew, like, hey, I can't keep doing this to you. Let's break this link now. I'll be able to handle myself moving forward. So, like, I was sad not to see her there, but it was necessary for sure.
Yeah, the biggest thing I think with that is what they kind of dropped the ball on is when they broke the connection. They broke it too late, because of all the damage that Gamera had sustained from the airport scene to the final battle. I mean, he was stabbed several times. He had chunks of his shell ripped off or blown off, and she sustained nothing of that. And then towards the end, midway, when she finally got the power to revive him, the amulet broke. She should have been on her deathbed before even trying to revive him. So I feel like they just didn't do that correctly. It should have been, he should have broke the link before he sustained it, because like Joe said, Gamera knew what he had to go through and what it was going to take to stop this thing, and didn't want to put her at risk. So it should have broken before all that stuff, even the airport scene. and then just kind of let him kind of do his own thing. But I get it. They kind of had to do that because they had to bring him back. So it's just kind of, lesser of two evils, I guess. But interesting nonetheless. All right. Next question is, overall, where do you rank this film in the kaiju genre? Overall, where do you rank this? I know we've been talking about how great this movie is. Talked about, the great director. We've talked about all the cool scenes. We've even talked about the trilogy as a whole being some of the best movies out there in the kaiju genre. Where does this rank for you as a kaiju flick, Jordan?
Number 2.
Overall.
Yep.
All right. Good man. Good man. I'll skip Joe for now. Samson.
Knew you were going to ask this question, and I was not prepared for it. Because there's so much to think about. I mean, the kaiju.
Top 10 for me.
I'll say number 4 overall. Like, out of every kaiju movie that exists that I love, I'll put it at a 4 just because of what's in front of it that I know that I love a lot too. Yeah. Okay. Because I don't want to put it at 5 and I don't want to say 3 either. So I'll be an even 4.
Okay. It's still pretty high. Adrian.
I'll probably put in my top 5 also. There's only a few films I probably put in front of it. Even the film that I have behind it is still one of my favorite films also. So I'll put it right there at 5.
Right there at 5. Okay. And Joe said top 10 overall. So,
yeah.
And I'm going to say, I've said this before, this is my second favorite film, kaiju-wise, of all time. So, yeah, it's high up there, just like Jordan. It is a great film overall, and I absolutely adore it. So, good stuff. But now we're going to transition into collectibles. Yay, collectibles. Toys. Well, this includes toys, includes, DVDs or CDs or paper or whatever you want to as a collectible. You can bring it in and show it off and show everybody kind of what some of your favorite stuff is. I picked some things that I probably thought that people wouldn't have, because I know there's some things that we all kind of have the same of, and I'm not going to pick those because that would just be redundant, but kind of pick some other ones here. But Adrian, I'm going to have you go first, and I want you to show off your top 3 collectibles that you have of this particular movie. If you don't have 3 collectibles, show off what you have, and then whatever you don't have to fill your 3, fill it with one that you really, really want to fill that spot representing this film.
So the first one I don't have it with me because unfortunately the car's been going all day, so it's actually in the car right now. But I actually have the Gamera 2 CD. Actually, I have Gamera 2 on CD actually with the other 3 films, the other 2 films of the series. So I really do love that. Of course, I have the big Chungus herself, Mother Legion, nighttime version.
Wow,
this thing is absolutely amazing. I was chasing after Legion for so long, I was never able to get it, and then this got re-released a few years ago, and I was like, "Yeah, this is coming home with me. Come home to Daddy." And lastly, I don't have a third one to show off. I do want to get the 25 centimeter Gamma to go with it. But I actually want the big boy, the Kyoto Gamma 1996 that came out. I want to say earlier this year.
Yes,
I want to get that big boy. I need that big boy in my collection.
Yes, I feel you. All right, awesome stuff. Samson, I'm gonna have you go next.
Well, with the limited collectability that I have with Gamera, and just this movie blew me away when I first saw it, when y'all were like edging me to watch it. Yeah, I picked this up from somebody that was selling it on Facebook, and I have no regrets. It's absolutely amazing. Okay. One little regret. I wish I got the bone white version. I got the nighttime. There's not much of a difference, but knowing what she looks like in the film, I'm like, the only thing that makes that, I would just like the white one more. And just like Adrian, I would like the 25 centimeter figure. And Eric, I do believe you are in possession of this specific one that I would like. It's a very certain one. There are two 25 centimeters of Gamera 96, but there's the one where he's looking more upward instead of just straight forward. And that's important, especially looking up at her. And since I don't have a third, I would honestly like to have a poster. I would put a poster of that on my wall just to be able to express how much I dig this film. So, yeah.
Wow.
It doesn't have to be like the official 96. It could be a reprint. I don't mind. Just something, at least.
Yeah. Awesome. Good choices. Good choices. Yeah. Jordan.
All right. So I've shown this off a few box days ago during my trip to, I think, New York Comic Con or Anime NYC. This laser disc that I got of such a beloved film. I want to get a laser disc player and see how it works because this is absolutely amazing to own.
Love it.
Definitely caught my eye, and I'm like, listen, it's one of my favorite kaiju films. I need to grab it.
Yo.
This was a holy grail for some time. The original Bandai Mother Legion figure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. When she came in, I was like a kid in a freaking candy store. I had a good chunk of 96 collectibles of specifically Gamera, but I'm like, yo, none of them will look good without this freaking beauty. And I'm glad I was able to pick her up. And this is my first Gamera figure of all time. It is the X Plus Rocket Pro 96 Gamera.
Wow.
Ooh, that's gnarly. Did that come in a blister box or a bag or
I do believe it did come with a blister box. Dude, it's been so long. I couldn't even.
That is a blister box, but
yeah. This was my first Gamera figure.
Awesome.
Yep.
I've actually never seen that. I've never seen that. So cool.
There you go, buddy. Look at that.
Yeah.
What's the
people's collectibles, man.
What's the bottom of the feet say when it come out?
It literally says 96.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
30-year-old figure.
Gamera.
30-year-old toy.
Very awesome. Very awesome. All right, Mr. Baby Man.
Sorry, gotta hold the kid while the wife go gets dinner.
No worries. No worries.
So mine is actually the B2 poster signed by Shusuke Kaneko and Wakasa-san. Wakasa-san did the suit designs and actually, created the suits themselves with his company. So that's really cool. I hope to get more signatures on this poster eventually over time. Yeah, Theo, you like that? And then I have a lot of the Bandai, the X Plus that you guys did. I kind of took the route that Eric did. I wanted to do something a little different because I figured, the Bandais and X Pluses are kind of out there. So this isn't necessarily Gamera 2 specifically, but it is in the Heisei Gamera universe, and it is an official release, which is pretty cool. It is a manga series set between the. Let me see if you guys can see it. Set between the films, which is really pretty cool, and. I haven't actually read it yet. I've had this for a couple of years, but it was pretty high on my list of things of wanting to get. Because if my memory is correct, I believe there's actually an appearance by Berugan in this, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so this is actually set between the films, I believe, between the first and second films, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of cool. So not technically Gamera 2, but you know, still in that universe.
Pretty close.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool. If you guys can still hear me, Theo's pulling my earbuds out. But yeah, so, yeah, that's it's kind of cool. Like you said, Eric, I didn't want to get something that everybody else was kind of going to show off because we all have a lot of the same stuff. So yeah, so okay, thank you.
All right.
You
Theo.
All right. So yeah,
can I just say that he was fussing this whole time, and that he went perfect as it was my turn to show off. So round of applause, Theo. Round of applause.
Good job, Theo.
Yeah, so I do have the OG Legion figure. I'm not going to get her out because I knew you guys were going to show some off, and I was like, I don't want to show that off. So I kind of want to grab some other stuff. And I figured nobody had this one, and I'm just gonna rub it in a little bit just because that's what I did last night.
Go
ahead. So this is the 25 centimeter Gamera that goes with my Legion. I think it is the best of the best Gamera 96 figures out there. Honestly, I think even better than the 30 centimeter. I just love the pose where it's kind of a turn pose. His head is arched up a little bit more to look at Legion because obviously Legion dwarfs him, and I just think it's awesome. I know they reissued this guy in the 25 centimeter, but he's more just a static straight on arms, at his sides, looking forward. It doesn't really look like he's looking at Legion. This one kind of captures the overall essence of, I think, what Gamera was in that film and fighting his adversary. So kind of wanted to show that off.
Awesome.
Yeah, showing it. Oh, rub it in is right. Thanks. No, I love it. I mean, the twist of the body, just the way that he's like let's go. It's it's the superior one. I want it. Damn it, I want it.
And then I got this last year before, I can't remember. So they did a special run in Japanese theaters, and maybe it's for an anniversary or something like that. And they actually showed it, I believe, at the Toho theaters. But they actually made an exclusive figure during its run. So I grabbed it because, of course, I was like, man, I have to, because this is one of my favorite films. So I got this snowy white translucent glitter Gamera 96 to commemorate the re-release in theaters for the special run. I think it was for like a week or so. But yeah, this is just awesome. I thought this was really cool with the white translucent vinyl and then the silver spray on it. It's just really awesome. And then they give him the green eyes, just kind of make it pop. So awesome. I thought it was really cool. And I immediately had to get this guy. So
movie.
Yeah, just pretty. And then my favorite, Joe kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but I will say that I have several more than he does. So I have also the B2 poster, but I have Yoshida, who was in Legion. I also have Ohashi, who was in Gamera. I have Fujitani, who was Asagi. I have Wakasa, who was obviously the suit maker. And then I have Kaneko, who was the director.
That is.
So I have
a poster.
Yes, absolutely. I made sure of it. I wanted to get everybody significant for this film, and I did it. And I absolutely love this thing. I'm trying to not have too many glares, so sorry if you can't.
No, it looks amazing.
You're fine, dude.
Yeah, it does.
So, yeah, this is pride and joy of this film for me. I just absolutely love it, and I had to get everybody, and I just love that I was able to get everybody. And So this is
Brava. Who else
I'm
would you
glad
put
I
on there?
stole your
Anybody?
thunder, considering you put me on blast in the group chat. I'm talking to you, Joe Myron.
I love you.
Is that when I was gone?
All
I
right.
missed.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And of course, you know, before we get into the giveaway for tonight, obviously make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you know whenever we go live for all of our crazy antics and deep dives and gaming and interviews, all that kind of stuff. We do everything here. We are a jack of all trades. We are the ones who do it first. And one of our slogans is we are your podcast favorite podcast for sure, for a reason, honestly, because we are trendsetters here at the Monsters with Attitude. And we just have a lot of fun here. So go do that. Hit the like on this video. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel because you have to be eligible to win this giveaway. But without further ado, I'm going to put this out here. I want you to put in the chat Queen Legion in the chat, and you are eligible to win this Defo Real Legion figure by X Plus, free of charge. Don't have to do anything. It is all for you, free of charge, courtesy of the Monsters with Attitude crew. So enter now. And while we're doing that, I have one last little game, I guess, if you will, that
Jesus.
we're going to play. So I am going to ask you a question. And once you talk, you are done. Okay. That's when you stop. So what this game is that we're going to start with Legion. Okay. Mother Legion. I'm going to give you another kaiju. Okay. I'm going to ask you if Legion could beat that kaiju. Okay. If you talk, you're done. That's who you think could beat Legion in a fight.
Okay.
And I will keep going until, I run out of kaiju to say. All right. So we're gonna see what you guys think overall, how strong Legion is as a kaiju against other kaiju. And you're not gonna say anything. But when I say something, if you say it, then you're done, and that's where you think her max is for now. Okay. So while everybody does Queen Legion in the chat to enter the giveaway, we're gonna play this little game. Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So first, we're gonna do Legion versus Anguirus. Okay. Legion versus Showa Mechagodzilla. All right. Legion versus Showa King Ghidorah. Okay.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. So Joe thinks that Showa King Ghidorah would beat Legion. All right. Joe is officially done. So we'll do Legion versus Space Godzilla.
Yes.
Okay. So Space Godzilla would beat Legion for you, Adrian.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, same here, I guess. Oh man.
Space Godzilla is a freaking tank.
He is a tank.
So is Legion. So is Legion. So okay, so Samson hasn't said anything. We're gonna do Legion versus Kiyu. All right. We're going to go Legion versus destroy you. All right. Legion versus Iris. No, okay. Legion versus let's go 89 Godzilla. Legion versus let's go see another strong one. Mothra. No, that's not strong enough for you. All right, Legion versus Death Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Very nice. I like it.
I know you threw a lot of tanks, but I was thinking.
I know. I wanted to kind of see.
I was like, a Space Godzilla almost got me, but I immediately went to, man, once his crystals got knocked out, he was weak. So with that hyper beam of Legions, I was like, those crystals get hit by that.
Space Godzilla also has the ability to deflect whatever's being thrown at him.
Mm-hmm.
So does Legion.
So does she.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody keep putting it in the chat. Queen Legion, if you want a chance to win a Legion figure from X Plus, all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel and enter hashtag Queen Legion in the chat, and you are eligible.
All lowercase.
Eligible. But yeah, that's all the questions that I have for you guys. Does anybody else have any questions or anything that they want to add about this film? Maybe ask the chat anything or whatever, anything that you guys kind of want to maybe had in your mind that maybe I didn't cover or didn't kind of peel those layers away from that wasn't answered tonight. Anything like that?
I mean, if you haven't seen this film, you're a psychopath. You need to go watch it right now. Right now.
It's on YouTube. You can watch it very easily.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on Pluto. It's on Amazon. I mean, it's everywhere. So I mean, you definitely have a chance to watch it everywhere. So
it's dubbed.
All right, I'm gonna get.
It's dubbed on YouTube.
Right?
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Can I just say I'm wearing my Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla shirt, so I don't care if his crystals got knocked out, he'd still beat that ass. So.
Oh god. Yeah, buddy. All right, everybody. There's 7 entries. Is that all we got? That's all? And nobody else wants.
Oh wait, hang on! I forgot to enter. Hang on.
Oh god.
Yeah, let's try to win like we did last night.
Somehow the last 2 times we've done that, we have scored big. We did it on another show where it was me and then Joe won, and then last night it was my daughter who was playing a joke, and then our account itself was playing a joke, so we both won again. So like it was crazy how we won that many times. So get out of here. I see you.
Out of here.
Get out of here.
Delete the comment. Someone go to YouTube. Delete the comment.
What's happening? What's going on? Who's that handsome fellow at married to kaiju?
And I just want to say thank you to everybody who was tuned in and chimed in tonight to go through this deep dive of Gamera 2 Advent of Legion. It was been a lot of fun, a lot of great answers from you guys. And I absolutely love this film. It's such a great watch, so entertaining, lots of action, and a great story, honestly. So like they said, if you guys haven't watched it, please go watch it. You're doing yourself a disservice for not watching it, honestly. If you're into kaiju or just action in general, this movie is for you, for sure. So, all right. Well, I've bantered long tough trying to get more people, but that's what we have. So we have 8 entries. Good luck in 3, 2, 1.
Married to kaiju, married to kaiju, married to kaiju, married to
If it happens, oh my god! If it
Oh, Marquise!
Oh, Marquise!
Wow.
Oh no freaking way! No way! Oh,
Wow! Congratulations for the winner, Marquise. You are coming and getting a Legion figure. Now, I will state there's going to be a little bit of a delay. It is still coming from Japan. So this is actually mine. You can't have that. So when it comes, I will surely get it out to you ASAP. It just got stuck in transit, and it is still on its way here. I was trying to find a really nice giveaway for tonight, and nothing was popping up until finally I got this bad girl, and was like, yep, that's the one I want to give away for one lucky person. So yeah, bear with me. It'll be a little bit of a wait, but don't worry, you will get your X Plus Legion figure sooner rather than later. But congratulations, Marquise, and thank you for entering. Thank you for being here and chiming in with us on this show. So with that, that's all I got, guys. I know we have a interview coming up. Jordan, why don't you say a little bit about that?
Yeah, so on Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, me and JoJo are actually going to be sitting down with the voice behind the Gen 2 Transformers Optimus Prime and that of Gary Chalk. This guy has played, besides Optimus Prime, he would initially debut in Gen 2, playing that of Optimus Primal, and afterwards, the rest was history. This guy has done many other works for many other iconic IPs such as He-Man, Sonic, Mega Man, you name it. More than likely, he's probably done it, especially around the realms of the mid to late 90s / early 2000s. So it would definitely be nice to sit down with my personal Optimus Prime. So make sure you guys chime into that on Tuesday. Reminder, it will be going live 8 o'clock Eastern. So double check on your time zones exactly what 8 p.m. Eastern translates to at your time zone. It'll be fun, and I cannot wait.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun because we just talked about Beast Wars, deep dove into that one a month or two ago, and that was a lot of fun. Just nostalgia for sure for a lot of us, as kids, and now getting to listen and talk to that guy. That's amazing. That's going to be such a great interview, and yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So congrats on that one, guys, and stay tuned for that. Honestly, I think that's coming up Wednesday?
Tuesday.
So yeah, a couple days away. So but yeah, that's it for us. Thank you all for watching. We are the Monsters with Attitude. We are your favorite podcast. I am Eric. That's Jordan. That's Samson. That's Adrian. And that's Joe Mama. Remember, like I've been saying, please remember to like, comment, subscribe on all of our social medias. Check out our link tree in our bio. Send us messages if you want. Comment on our videos and share with everybody that is a kaiju anime wrestling connoisseur like we are, that we just enjoy this kind of stuff. So we would really appreciate, love it. Also, check out our TeePublic store, our merch store. We got some great stuff there. Adrian has one example of one of our shirts. Plus, we just dropped a new design there as well, kind of more of a NWO-esque wrestling type format, which Jordan showed last night, which was really awesome. So yeah, just a lot of stuff going on with MWA, and yeah, we got lots more stuff coming up in the future. I know next month, me and Joe are going to be doing some more interviews, honestly, pertaining to G-Fest and talking about, and to a lot of vendors going there. So if you guys are interested or going to G-Fest, tune into those. They're going to be bringing and showing off merchandise that they'll have at the convention. You guys can ask questions. Maybe, you're looking for something and you can ask them, hey, do you have this? Do you have that kind of thing? And it's just really cool. It's really chill. We just kind of talk to them, talk kaiju stuff, talk G-Fest, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We've done this for a couple of years now, so we'll be returning the format again, and you'll see our ugly mugs at G-Fest for the most part. Most of us will be there, and just kind of chop it up. So if you guys see us there, don't be afraid. We do not bite. We are tall, scraggly, bearded guys, but we have hearts of gold, honestly, and you can just come up to us and shut up, Joe. Don't make the face. So don't worry about him. But yeah, we are out of here. Thank you all for watching. And we have a little something that we like to say around here. It is one phrase, 3 words. Embrace the attitude.
Embrace the attitude.